already. So if you go to scratch.mit.edu, I'll put it in the chat, and make an account. I think it's on the top right. Just create account, and then you're gonna click on create new project. So if you go, there's a little folder icon in the top right. So if you click on that, you'll see that you can create a new project at the top. And so when you get there, just wait. So I'll give everyone like a minute to do that. And feel free to use the chat to just, if I'm going too fast, or if you have a question.
And then for folks who don't know what Scratch is, it's basically a drag and drop language program. So we're not going to use like, you know, heavy, like what we say syntax coding, like you type it up. So the folks at MIT, they thought, okay, we should learn the fundamental concepts of computer science first. So we're going to cover some pretty basic concepts today, like if else, event statements, and basically you don't have to write anything except for like what SUHI says, obviously, but there's no syntax coding. So you're going to familiarize yourself with some concepts first before you get you know, a little bit discouraged over writing syntax errors or whatever. But I wouldn't want y'all to get discouraged. Scratch is actually a really easy way to learn and get yourself familiarized with some computer science concepts. So it will be fun.
Yeah, it's a very visual. So you'll see when you log in. Should be. Does anyone need more time?
Yeah, if y'all need more time, just feel free to holler in the chat. I know we're gonna have an hour with y'all, so we're gonna try to move as efficiently as possible. But if you run into any problems, you can screen share. You don't have to like share your camera, but you can share your screen, and then we can help you debug. And mostly, if you run into an issue, there's more likely that your colleagues are gonna run into an issue too. So it's always good to ask questions when you're struggling. Right, folks? So I assume people are signing in to scratch.mit.edu, but we would like to take this time to talk more about SUHI. So Dana, why don't you take away?
So SUHI is a red panda. Her pronouns are she, her, hers. She's a cute little character my friend had designed, and there's a bunch of different poses that she has. We're actually going to be downloading the characters from this website that we're created.
Funny. So these backgrounds, they're tailored to meet the the dimensions that Scratch has. And then if you can scroll down, Dana, we also tailored the same background for your Zoom if you have capabilities of changing your Zoom backgrounds. So we're trying to make it really fun, especially during CS Ed Week.
So I just dropped a link in the chat, so that leads you to this page. And you'll see that there's other props that you can use, the robots, and then different feelings of SUHI. So if everyone can go to that link and then download the following graphics that we're going to be using all of these today. So there's the download button, or if you click on a link, it'll take you to, it'll look like this, and then you can download it on the top right. So just save it to your computer, and then you'll be able to follow along and recreate this. So I guess we'll give maybe a few minutes to do that. There's eight things in total.
we'll give y'all 3 minutes to download these. And as anything, you know, stay organized and put them in a folder so then you know exactly where they are. Because sometimes for me, I can't find where my desktop is and what my download folder. So it's good to just have one folder for this activity. So we're gonna assume that y'all are wrapping up. So I want y'all to also know that this activity is also available on YouTube, and it's available in both English and Spanish. So if for some reason if y'all internet cut out or whatever, you can always go back in one of our create videos, and we'll share the link afterwards. But just know that you're not going to be lost if something happens.
Okay. So I'm going to create a new project. So hopefully everyone is here. And then this is the screen that everyone should see. If no one is here, or if someone's not here, let us know. But I'm going to start. So this is Scratch, and you can see all these cool blocks on the left side. They're divided by colors and category. So this is what you're going to be using to code. And this blank white space in the middle is where you'll be putting all your code, and you can drag and drop them and you'll see they click together. And if you don't want something, you can throw it back on the left to get rid of it. The little character you see here is called a sprite. You can have multiple sprites, and then they're gonna show up down here. And you can also move your sprite around if you want your sprite to be in a different location on this screen. So this right side is kind of what you're creating, so you'll be able to test out whatever you're doing by clicking the green flag, and then you'll see everything happen on this little rectangle. And then your backdrops are going to be on the very right side. So if you click on that, you'll see that you're switched to backdrops, and now you're in your backdrop section. So if you wanted to code something to do with your backdrops, you have to, the important thing is to make sure you're also on the right character or backdrop, because sometimes you might forget what you're on and then you'll be coding in the wrong area. Let's see. So these tabs on the top left, you'll see costumes. So this is basically so we're on sprite 1, and these are the costumes that are for this specific sprite. So you can kind of change how your sprite looks. We're not going to use sound today, but that is also an option on Scratch. And so to begin, so everyone should have downloaded the SUHI graphics. So you're going to want to upload that to the game, or to Scratch, so that you can use them. So you can do that by, on the bottom, you'll see this little cat icon. Click on that and then go to the upload sprite. And then when you do that, you'll be able to, it'll take you to your computer, and then you'll upload just upload the neutral SUHI, so the one with that, yeah, in a neutral position. And then once you do that, you'll notice that she appears on the screen as a new sprite. So once you are there, if you click on her and you go to costumes, then on the bottom left, you can upload more costumes for SUHI, for this specific sprite. So then here you'll want to upload the rest of the SUHI costumes. So the happy, the nervous, and the SUHI with taco. And then once you do that, they're all going to appear on the left side, and you can switch between them. So you'll notice you uploaded 4 different costumes, but they're all going to be for this one sprite. So just leave it in the neutral position. And then you can just delete the cat one, because we're not going to be using that. And then on the right side, you're going to do the same thing and upload your backgrounds. So I click this icon, go to upload. And then you're going to want to upload the 2 backgrounds. And then you'll notice that they'll appear under backdrops. And you can just delete the white blank one. And you'll start off in the classroom.
She looks so happy.
Yeah, I really like this one. And then, so we're going to be using a second sprite, which is the robot. So you're going to go to upload, or choose a sprite, and then you're going to upload your robot. So you're going to upload friendly robot, and then you'll see the robot appeared. And then if you go to costumes, you're going to want to upload the other robot. So then the angry version of the robot will appear here, and then you can switch between those 2 for the sprite, the same sprite. Hopefully everyone was able to do that without any problems. Let us know in the chat if you have a question. So you can move these guys around. I think they're kind of big, so I changed the size. You can change it to whatever size you want to. I think I did 70 for SUHI, and then the robot, I think I did 60? No, that's too small. I did 70. So yeah, you can change the size right here. Okay, and then you can put them where you want them to be standing in the classroom. And then we're gonna start coding. So we're gonna go to events, which is this yellow gold color. And the first block you're gonna grab is the one green flag clicked. This basically means that it refers to this green flag at the top. So as a user, when you have your activity or game in Scratch, you're always going to start by pressing the green flag, which basically tells the program to run. And so that kind of triggers this block to tell the rest of your code to start. So we're going to have that out as the first thing. And then we're going to go to looks. which is the purple, and grab the first block, say hello for 2 seconds, drag that and click that right in. And we're going to change the dialogue. We're going to have SUHI introduce herself. So you can kind of modify this as you'd like, but so first thing that I want her to say is hello everyone, because she's going to introduce herself and her robot. And so this block is going to display this text for 2 seconds. And you can, anytime during this, you can press the green flag and you can see what you've created so far. So you'll see so when I press the green flag, it's going to run what I have. And so she says hello everyone for 2 seconds. And then
line of code that we just made. First 2 lines. Let's keep going.
Yeah, so next, I'm going to want her to say her name. So she's going to say, my name is SUHI. And then I'm going to add another block. She's introducing her robot, so she's going to say, this is my robot, Rob, for 2 seconds. And I'm adding them as different blocks because I don't want them, because otherwise it's going to appear all at the same time, but I want her to stagger what she says into different sentences. So then she's saying, I programmed him to do a lot of things. And then this sentence is a little bit longer, so I'm going to want her to say it for 3 seconds, which you can edit. And then I'm going to say, introduce himself, because Rob the robot is about to introduce himself. So then we're going to go to events category and use the broadcast block. So you'll see that there's a drop-down menu. I'm going to create a new message. I'm just going to call it intro. And basically what this does is when you put this block, it's going to broadcast a message. So it's broadcasting the message intro. And then you'll see that there's another block when I receive, and then there's a drop down and you can choose intro. Then it's going to trigger whatever code you put after this block to start. Because it's a story, we want it to go in order. So that's why we're going to be using this broadcast block a lot. So hopefully everyone has this so far. Then we're going to go to Rob, the robot. So when we click on him, it's blank because we were coding with SUHI before. Now we're going to start coding with Rob. So we're going to go back to that broadcast block. So when I receive intro, and this is going to trigger him to start talking, he's going to say something. He's going to introduce himself. So I'm going to go to looks and grab another.
Can we zoom in the text a little bit? Yeah, that's good.
Is that better? Okay. So Rob is going to say, hi y'all, my name is Rob. So he's introducing himself. And then I'm going to go back to events. We're going to grab that broadcast block again and broadcast a new message. I'm going to just call it post intro. Oh, I spelled that wrong. So then we're going to go back to SUHI, and she's going to, so we're going to go grab another when I receive block. And then when she receives post intro, she knows that Rob is done talking and introducing himself. And now we're going to go to looks. She's going to say, she's going to show off what Rob could do. So she's going to say, look, Rob can jump. And then we're going to go back to that broadcast. And we're going to broadcast a new message. I'm going to name it jump. And so now she's broadcasting this message, and then Rob's going to receive it with this block. and we're going to click the jump. So now he has received this and he knows that he's supposed to do something now, and we're going to make him jump. So with the blue motion blocks, that's how you're going to be able to move your sprites. So we're going to want to go to change Y by 10 block, and this means that it'll change the vertical direction of the sprites. So
The
you
Y.
can, yeah, the y-axis. I'm going to change it by 50. You could do it if you want it to be a bigger jump. You could go 70, or if you want it to be a smaller jump, you can go below 50. And then we're going to go to control and use the weight block and put it under, and I'm going to change it to 0.5 seconds, and then go back to the motion and go to change Y again. This time I'm going to change it to -50. So then Rob will end up in the same place he is now, because if he goes up by 50, then we want him to go back to the same spot so that it looks like he's jumping. And then I'm going to add another weight block. And the weight block is, it'll just make it so there's a pause in between the emotions, because if there's no pause, then it'll just counteract each other and make it look like Rob didn't do anything. So you can see this is what it looks like. You can also click on the blocks. So it looks like Rob is jumping. And then I want him to jump more than once, so I'm going to use the repeat block. Drag that here and make sure all the code that I just did is in that repeat block so that it's going to keep going for the amount of times I want him to jump. I'm going to do 3. So if you click on it now, he's going to go through this whole thing 3 times.
And then the repeat block makes it so then we don't have to write our code like 3 times, right? So it won't be like super long.
Because you could get the same thing by if I just took this and then copied that 2 more times and put them back to back, but this just saves time, it's more efficient. Okay, and then we're going to go back and get another broadcast block, because we're going to broadcast to SUHI that Rob is done jumping. So I'm just going to name this post jump, and we're going to go back to SUHI, and then SUHI is going to receive it. And then now she's going to show off Rob doing a flip. So she's going to say, look, he can do a flip. And then we're going to go back to events and broadcast flip. So you'll notice we're using broadcast a lot. That it's helpful in terms of sequential actions. And then we're going to make Rob do a flip. So when he receives flip, he's going to be able to spin. And so we're going to do that with motion and using this turn by 15 degrees block. And I'm going to set it to 120, but you could set it to a different number. You just want to make sure that if you want him to land right side up after he's done, he has to, the number of turns. So 120 is going to be, it has to add up to 360, because then he'll end up in the same spot. So we're going to have this turn, and then make sure you put a weight block. So I'm going to do 0.5 seconds again, because then it looks, you can see the flip better if there's a weight. So I'm going to, yeah, so you can see that's where he lands, because I don't have the degrees adding up to 360. So I'm going to add 2 more of these. One more. And then let's see what happens. Oh, okay. Oh, I clicked it and now, okay, so he started at 120 and then I clicked it and then now he's ending up here because I started at, hold on. Okay, why?
It could be the direction you're starting at. Did we rotate him? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we want to start at 90. Okay, yeah, thanks, Lynn. Okay, so then he does a flip. So let's see how it looks now. Okay, so he does a flip, and then we're going to broadcast again. Post flip. We're going to tell SUHI that we're done flipping. Okay, so when she receives post flip, so we're gonna make Rob become the angry version of himself, so you can see how the costume switch now. So
Oh no.
So the thing, she's proud of herself, so then we're going to broadcast, go back to broadcast. We're going to broadcast again, new message. I'm just going to name it angry. and then when Rob gets the hangry message, we're going to change him into the angry robot version that we had uploaded earlier. So we're going to go to looks, and that's where you have the costume where you can switch costumes. So switch costume to angry robot. And then he's going to turn into an angry robot. And then we're going to go back to SUHI's code. And then after we broadcast hangry, so Rob's going to turn angry, and then because of that, SUHI is going to turn nervous. So we're going to switch her costume to nervous. And then she's going to say, oh no, Rob is getting hungry. And so she knows that Rob is hungry, and that's why he's angry. So she's going to suggest you feed him a taco. And then I had put a weight block, and then we're going to go to the taco shop to feed Rob a taco. So we're going to switch the backdrop. So you're going to do that with looks, and then you'll see the switch backdrop. And then you're going to make sure it's on the taco one. So then they're going to go to the taco shop. Then I'm going to put another weight block. So the weight block, it's because you don't really think about it when you're just switching things, but if you put a weight block, then it'll seem more of a transition than it just automatically switching. And then, so we're going to have SUHI feed Rob a taco. And so we're going to switch our costume to SUHI taco. And that's the one with SUHI sideways with the taco in her hand. And she's going to tell Rob, eat this, Rob. And then we're going to go to broadcast. And we're going to name it post taco. And then that's going to trigger Rob when he gets post taco. He's going to turn back into his happy self. because now he's not hangry anymore. So we're gonna switch costume back to happy robot or friendly robot. And he likes the taco, so we're gonna make him say yum. And then I'm gonna go to events, grab another broadcast block. And then I had named this happy. And then that's gonna trigger SUHI to, see, go to happy. Then they're gonna go back to the classroom. So we're gonna switch backdrop, back to the classroom. We're gonna add another weight block. That seems more like a transition. And then she's gonna be happy. So we're gonna switch her costume to happy. And then we're gonna have her say, can't wait to program him to be more cool. And then if you want, you can, we're gonna end it by switching her back to neutral. And then I think that is it. So I think we just recreated what the video I showed earlier. So let's see it by clicking the green flag. Yep. And you'll notice too on Scratch, it highlights in yellow the section that the code is playing. Or this, it's like, yeah, pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's, yeah, that's storytelling with SUHI. So hopefully you learned a little bit more about how to use Scratch and the different options.
So basically, this is the concept called events. So as y'all could see when we did the activity, it's pretty much like this triggers this triggers that. Like so it becomes like some kind of like pattern afterwards. So that's basically what coding is. You find in some kind of pattern, and then you just go along with it. It's a really logical base. So yeah, I hope y'all have fun. And then I think Dana's can talk more about what else we did with Scratch. So yeah, you want to show them the tackle game we made?
Yeah. So wait, oh, the graphic's not there, but so we made another game. Then made it. It's on the same website, and if you go to Scratch Games, so you'll see the storytelling with SUHI, and then there's the Spanish version, and then at the bottom, SUHI saves UCSD with tacos. Let's see if
There's a link.
it'll load. Oh, yeah, I guess that might be easier.
So Scratch is pretty cool. After y'all make a program in Scratch, you can embed it just like you embed like YouTube videos. So pretty much this is a Google site, and we've been, when you click on share, you can have like, you know, they give you the HTML code, and then you can input it on your website. So yeah, this is what we call a blaster game, but this is my newer take on it. It's basically, instead of like, I guess, shooting things, we give people food, people as in Rob. So it comes off of like the motto that he's hungry again, and he's, you know, a lot of him are in UC San Diego. So if you push the space bar, Um, whole bunch of Robs will appear. And as you can see, I used the same kind of like events. Like if the tackle hits the robot, then he becomes happy again. And then you can make your own variables in this one. There's like many things you can do. I make this game a little bit harder. Maybe y'all can make a much harder version or an easier version. So as any Scratch game, if you click on see inside on the top right, y'all can see all the code that I did. So it's a little bit more complex, but I would say, take some time to tinker with it. Um, I also use sound for mine. So when certain things get hit or touched, like it triggers a certain sound. What else? You can make your own variables. So for me, if my variables is taco. So if you can see the brighter orange one, well actually darker orange, like SUHI orange, you can see the score and then the tacos. So you can make your own variables to trigger like if things do this, then it goes up or goes down with the score. Yeah, so this is pretty much Scratch. I would just take time to explore what Scratch could do. I've seen many really cool things, like people do art on Scratch, they do patterns, and I'm sure Miss Kazemi could tell you like all sorts of other stuff that people in the Scratch communities have been using. So right now there are like almost somewhere between like 500, no, I think like 300 million folks using Scratch around the world. So it's definitely like a really good intro activity. And even like sometimes I don't want to write code, right? Sometimes I just want to make a fun game that doesn't require me to like debug a whole bunch of syntax. So I still use Scratch. It's still a really cool platform, even if you're like an experienced coder or a computer scientist. So yeah. Anything else you want to add, Dana?
Yeah, I mean, I think Scratch is pretty cool. I like my first ever experience with computer science at UCSD. I graduated this past year was with Scratch and Snap, which is a similar platform. But even college students are learning how to code with these like Scratch. So I think it's super beginner friendly, and I like the way that it's really visual since like I'm a visual learner. So yeah, definitely would recommend checking it out. You can create like an animation or a game. Yeah, like Min said, there's a lot you can do on it.
Oh, and I also want to point y'all out to this video contest. So if you go back to our Google site, one of the tabs is the video contest. So I saw that some of your colleagues also submitted, but basically this is our first ever run with this video contest. So if y'all could even use Scratch, use any other platform, but basically there's going to be 3 different type of category you can submit your video to. So number 1 is basically what does CS mean to you? Like what are the ways that you use computer science for? And then number 2 is it's like this, show off your coolest project. So y'all could just say like, I'm even like, if you haven't taken a computer science class before, this is your first ever time coding, I would still encourage y'all to submit. Even something like a SUHI project would be cool. You can say something like, this is my first time ever doing computer science or some kind of Scratch related activity, and I find it really cool. Here's what I did. You can do like the same kind of concept that we taught y'all how to do with SUHI. You can do it with any type of like public service announcements, like environmental, social justice oriented, you name it, right? And then which leads to number 3, like you can also have like a really call to action type of video, like how can CS spark change? So CS, like y'all have been learning this week, and if y'all have taken computer science, it can really spark change. So we want to know what y'all think. So for high school, we can select up to three winners for high schoolers. So far I can tell you that only 4 people have submitted, and they're all high schoolers. So um, there are a good, if you submit something, there's a good chance that you could win something. Um, so yeah, the submission form is on the website too. So if you go to submit here, can you click on it, Dana? Yeah, and then it'll take you to a Google form, and we want your name, your district, email, and then I included your teacher's name, your email as well. So what kind of category you're submitting to, and you just have to upload a video. And usually 1 to 3 minutes is fine. We don't want any longer, because like imagine if like I get 100 submissions, right? I can't like be a robot and program myself to watch all of those. I'm human after all. Um, yeah, maybe Miss Kazim, maybe. So yeah, so I included the Miss Kazim. I'm gonna reach out to you because I think I saw 2 submission videos that they didn't quite upload correctly. So I might have to ask some of your students to resubmit. And make sure you, okay, so you know, pro tip, when you submit to any contest, scholarship essays, whatever, just proofread it. Make sure it's the right file, right link, because not everyone is as forgiven, right? I'm not like, usually people don't reach out to someone like Miss Kasimi, or like because I know Miss Kasimi, I can reach out to her. But if you submit to like a national contest or whatever, they're not gonna reach out to you and say like, oh, you submitted this incorrectly. Pre-submit it again. So yeah, so I'm gonna be reaching out to some folks at Sweetwater to resubmit. But please encourage your friends, colleagues to submit, and yeah, so we look forward to any submissions you have, and feel free to um, use the CS for SD hashtag. This is just our regional effort to do more outreach in computer science, but this is a global effort, right? So this whole week is all about like how we get everyone and anyone to learn how to do computer science and coding. All right, so right now we can take questions. We can take questions. As Lena, I think you're frozen, or am I frozen? I'm not sure what's going on. Okay. All right, so we'll wait until Dana comes back. But basically, I work at UC San Diego, and I know college applications are coming up, or they are overdue already. So if y'all have any questions about UC and computer science, Ms. Kasimi is a really great source, and we'll wait for Dana to come back because Dana is a recent graduate, and she can tell you more about UC if y'all have any questions about it. Otherwise, yeah, if y'all have any questions, feel free to holler. Yeah, Ms. Kazimi. Okay, so I guess if we don't have any questions, I'm gonna drop my email down. And y'all could feel free to email me if y'all have any questions about UC San Diego, computer science. I know in maybe early this week you had some UC San Diego alumni, not alumni, but UC San Diego current students who are Sweetwater alumni present. So I feel like they're a great resource too. So feel free to reach out to them as well. Is there anything else, Ms. Kazimi? Otherwise, I'm gonna stay on for like 10 more minutes with my lo-fi and see if there's any questions from the students. All right, I'm gonna play my lo-fi, y'all. So Dana just told me that the internet in her house just dropped. So I'll take it away with my lo-fi. I'm share my screen. Oh no. Whoop.
Well, making me feel really shy. I want to say.
Okay. All right, y'all. I'm gonna wrap up. See ya.